Aloha all. Today I'd like to discuss plant guilt and the economy. Good one, huh? I thought it was pretty funny when I thought it up. No, actually I had an experience today. That's what got me thinking. That relates back. I've been in the plant business for a long time. And when you're in any kind of a business for a long time, it's kind of hard, like for a butcher to be cutting up steaks and seeing the soft brown eyes of the cows. You sort of harden towards things a bit, and with plants there's no exception with me. I mean, I cut plants all the time, pruning plants, chopping them in little pieces. I do some horrible things to plants, usually it's for their good and my good. It works out well, since I think I know what I'm doing. But definitely, I can't have a lot of remorse. I can't involve a lot of psychological emotion, into plants. I think I'm having fun, maybe, or I'm tired of this, or whatever. But as far as, my poor plant, it's dying. No, this does not happen in Bill's world. Okay, I call that plant guilt. Lots and lots of gardeners experience this. Mostly they're novice, newer gardeners that haven't been doing things for so long. Now, with an exception, let me say that if I have a very special and rather rare plant, something very hard to get, hard to grow, and I waste it, yeah, I feel bad about that. But we're mostly dealing with just hardship and economic loss. It's not a lot of guilt over, oh, Bill, you bad man, you killed your plant. I would see people frequently at my customer service desk in California that would bring me back these plants looking for refunds. And it was obvious that, whoa, this poor thing, it's a shade plant. You obviously put it in full sun, and oh, you didn't water this, did you? I mean, they just killed things. I'd hate to be their dog. I wouldn't want to be their children. Oh, absolutely not. I'll give you your money back, ma'am, but I'm going to have to report this to the plant police. Yeah, it's like that. And people would come to me and they'd be so concerned. Oh, my plant, and it usually has a story. Oh, it was a cutting from my grandma's tree, there's usually a story. And I can understand the stories. But as far as feeling bad over a plant croaking, that's silly. The reason why, okay, why do I feel that way? Well, of course, like I say, I deal with them all the time. I just can't get that way. But it's mostly that killing plants is good for the economy. It's true. I mean, I have expressed this occasionally to others, and even occasionally to customers. Today, I don't know, I was in a mood. And had a couple here, and the wife says, as the husband is buying 2 ferns, and the wife says, well, he's a terrible gardener. He kills everything. I said, oh, no problem. I mean, being a lousy gardener is great for the economy. I mean, I sell you those ferns, you take them home, you plant them, they drop dead. Well, you're going to have to come back and buy 2 more to replace them. I said, think of it like poinsettias. Every year at Christmas, they grow poinsettias. We take the poinsettias home. We enjoy them for the holidays. They're great, Don't let the cat chew on them. And then at the end of the holidays, we either throw them out or find some sap of a gardener to take them, or we get rid of them, usually kill them. Make them so ugly that we don't want to see them anymore and throw them in the trash. And that's a good thing, because every year there are thousands of people in the United States that are growing poinsettias just because you need a nice, new, fresh, clean, good-looking poinsettia for the holidays. It's the same with any other plant, really. I mean, nursery people like myself, we want to see you succeed. Really, if the plant you get from us grows and it produces nicely, it makes you happy, and you'll probably remember the guy who sold it to you, in a kind way. Yeah, and so, but on the other hand, yes, nothing's perfect. A lot of us mess up. Maybe we went on vacation. Maybe the irrigation timer failed. Who knows why these things happen? But we trash plants all the time. Plants are always getting wasted by people. It's an interesting thing too, because with the plants, they know exactly what they're doing. Plants are totally synced in, man. There's no argument, no problems with plants as far as what's real and what's right here. It's the gardeners that actually, are the ones that mess the plants up, because they put them in the wrong place, do the wrong things, oftentimes do way too much. Don't do so much, please. Doing is a human thing, and sometimes doing kills plants. Bugs, spray! What'd you use? Oh, it's paint thinner. So I rambled. The folks who were by today, I actually went ahead, slipped, and I gave them, the full lowdown on, don't worry about killing the ferns. Give it a shot. Maybe they grow. They don't grow your back. It was like they understood. They went, they bought a few more plants to kill. I think that's fun, and it's interesting. I must have sensed this out right, that these were the two folks that would understand this argument is about why we don't worry about he's a miserable gardener. I don't worry about it, that's for sure. But plant guilt, it's odd. Again, like I say, I understand story, when there's a legacy on something. I understand that. And we get sentimental about all kinds of things, but as far as getting beyond emotionally feeling the economic loss, if it was a cherry tree and the borers got it, oh man, the cherries. You won't have the cherries till you get a new one again. Now, that's understandable. That's pain and suffering, man. Life without cherries. I live in Hawaii. We can't grow cherries. So, there are things about plant loss that definitely, and we all have heirloom trees, 2,000 years old, fires sweep through, Sequoias National Park and take down trees that were on Earth when Christ was walking, Buddha climbed this one. That's hard to deal with. It's hard to replace. Be totally pragmatic about it. You can't replace those easily. But getting emotionally involved deeply in the loss thing, just like, if your dog, your cat suffers, if Gracie got sick or got hit by a car or something like that, I might even take it personal because, maybe I left the gate open. Who knows why these things happen? And when you can definitely see you have made another creature suffer, and it was probably your fault that this happened, or there was some connection there, then, feeling a little guilt over it, it's probably the right thing to do. Hopefully you won't do that again after the experience. But I'm not sure how plants are conscious. I've been with them for a long time, dealing with them all the time, and I'm still not sure. I see some pretty mysterious and marvelous things happen when it comes to plants and consciousness, but I never see it repeated enough sometimes, to make a logical assessment about how weird and mystical and spiritual plants are. I think they are. If you look at things that way, that's the way it's going to be. But as far as getting emotionally tied to them, the kind of consciousness a plant has is not the same as your consciousness. If you lived in the Tao completely, in the way of the world, because plants exist within a consciousness that's like global, somehow universal. Did you realize, Gracie, that you are now a television celebrity? I had people come to me today and say, hey, is that Gracie, the TV cat, the famous TV cat? Yes, this is Gracie. Yeah. She wants to get down. But Gracie here, Gracie lives in the Dow. She's in the way of the world. She's a wild cat. She ain't got a whole lot of psychological weirdness, She hasn't been around people that much, so she doesn't have too much neuroses. She has chased mice, chased birds, fed kittens, had to live with the world. And sometimes it was hard for her, and she probably suffered, but her thought process is a whole lot more like, yours and mine. We're both mammals, right? We both have hair. Plants, they're in the same space she is, in the way of the world, but I don't think they don't react to it most of the time as quickly, and I don't think they have emotion. This is my guess. I don't think plants actually have much for emotion. They have reactions. Emotion gets far more complicated. It's when, you get this brain circuitry up here and something happens in the world, and whether it was pleasant or it wasn't pleasant to your nervous system, you will take it and process it, and you're going to make a story out of it. I don't believe plants do that. I don't think that they have concepts of good and evil. All these things are human inventions, the way we divide up the universe and make little blocks out of it so that we can, try to understand it because the whole big picture is too much. Well, plants don't bother to try to understand it. I mean, that's not important. They are it. And so there's no understanding to be had. And so in that sense, I don't think that they are experiencing the sorts of things that we feel, not in the way we feel them. So it's very human to experience guilt over trashing out the plant. But the plant really didn't care. And trust me, the farmer loves you. Yes, it's great for the economy. Killing your garden enriches the farmers. Let's face it, So there's a strange story for today. Aloha, y'all. Hang loose as usual.